Good evening, Ruskin enjoyers. Hope you're doing right, 'cause it's time for the 48-hour analysis. Basically, in this video, I'm going to look at all the skins in the current Rust store, compare them to previous Rust store skins to get a good idea in regards to, well, how much of these skins are likely going to sell by next Thursday, and then knowing that, we'll then question, are these skins still holding up to being perfectly fine investments, or are there any potential problems that you need to be aware of? So sit back and relax. I'm going to start yapping. So, first 24 hours of sales for the complete the sets Rust store for 2025. 19 skins. 19 skins in total. That is ridiculous. And one of my first expectations was, I don't think we're going to see ridiculous sales this week. We've got some cool collection continuations, and feel free to comment below which one was your favourite. But as expected, 24 hours in, technically 25, I was a little bit late, sorry about that. Top selling skin was the Legacy Kevlar Jacket with just under 10,000 subscribers, followed by the Polymer L96 and the Camouflage Jacket with around 9,000 subscribers. Then it kind of drops off quite dramatically, 7,000, 6,000, 5,000, 4,000. The average sales are a bit low, which, okay, fair enough. It's not like people needed 4 pairs of boots, 2 pairs of roadside gloves, but this is quite literally completing clothing armor sets. So, okay, fair enough. We see it, we understand it. However, as I did say in my predictions video and in my Rust rotation video, these boots and gloves, yes, they are the final pieces of their collection, but if they sell quite a lot less compared to the rest of the clothing and armor skins in their collection, you might see these work out as very nice investments. So, of course, we will be doing some comparisons. Yes, we will. So, shall we now go ahead and look at the first 48 hours of sales? That's about an hour or so later, but just like to point out, Rust Help has updated. Now, this is still subject to change, but if I could just quickly refresh, just to make sure. All right, there we go. Yep, we're definitely up to date. And yeah, I'm not so keen about the black background. And I also think they should probably make the spaces a little bit bigger. I know we've got rows of 6 there, but why not just use it up a bit more and have a row of 4, you know, with what we see the likes of here and whatnot. We're used to that. So anyway, perfectly fine looking amounts of sales at the moment. Top selling skin is still the Legacy Kevlar Jacket with just under 14,000 subscribers. But how will everything turn out? And with so many skins today, can we get through this in a reasonable amount of time? Well, I did prepare. So let's get started. Legacy Kevlar Jacket. First 24 hours of sales, just under 10,000 subscribers. What can we compare to? Well, I looked around and I realised, you know what? Quite some time back, we had an interesting batch of skins here. And that Fuselage Sheet Matador, that did around close to 10,000 subscribers. So let's go compare to that, because I think that's where we're going to land. So if I could just quickly go back 2 weeks. There we go. Very big Rust store here as well. And as you'll see, this did just over 20,000 subscribers. Now, I do recall in the past some other 10,000 sales skins, subscriber skins of the first 24 hours, reaching up to over 20,000 subscribers by the end of the week. I fully expect that to happen to this. Legacy Kevlar is a fairly large collection. All the clothing armor pieces are right there with a backpack. Who knows if we'll see more out of this. Would you like to see some Legacy Kevlar weapons? Would you like to see Legacy Kevlar deplorables? Feel free to comment below. In regards to what we see here, this is not looking like it's going to match up to the sales we saw for the tier 3, the hoodie and pants, and even all the other bits and pieces here. Even the Legacy Kevlar backpack. I'm looking at this and I'm going with the estimate that this is going to do between 19 to 22,000 subscribers. Just a little bit less than that, but less than everything else here. And so as long as Legacy Kevlar remains fairly in demand, which is what's going on right now, I think that jacket actually is going to work out quite nicely. But let me just warn all of you, if you're thinking, wow, awesome black jacket, oh, surely everybody would like that, we have tons of black jackets. As you'll see, right over to here. I'd just like to point out, Rust Help can also do this now. If we go to 41 other skins, I click that, and there you go. But again, I'm not a fan of the black backdrop, the background, so yeah. But anyway, I've also noticed it seems these aren't fully up to date in the right time. Still subject to change. So anyway, back over to here. Looking at all the black, jacket skins we've had earlier this year, we had the Tide Jacket. Last year we had Hellrider's Jacket, Dragon Rage Jacket, the Twitch Drop Jacket right there. We had Training Jacket, we had Black Gold Jacket. Point made. We have a lot of black jackets. And I haven't even got started talking about the Blackout Jacket from the past. Where are you? There you are. Oh, $11? Blimey. So, yeah, I think that will hold its value. I'm just not 100% sure it's going to be super profitable. But if Legacy Kevlar does trend up nicely from here and now, oh yeah, that very likely could be working out quite nice. So, have you watched my rust rotation video? Got a good look at that? Do you like the design? Do you like using Legacy Kevlar? Because when it comes to cheaper blackout alternatives, you got Pirate Collection. Recently, you can say Tire Collection. It's not complete yet, but you get the idea. You've got Dragon Rage. You've got Black Gold. Which one's your favourite? Take the stage and comment below. But yeah, I think with 19 to 22,000 subscribers, that probably could work out quite nicely, especially in comparison to the rest of the skins in its collection. But of course, be aware, we're now definitely, getting closer and closer to October time. Player count's actually doing very good at the moment, but September is next. And September is typically where we see quite the drop in player count. So last summer, average over 90,000, drops down to 76,000. But then we got the world update in October. We're still anticipating the naval update. That's going to be a very big update. I'm pretty sure a lot of people are looking forward to it. So don't be surprised if we also see a lot of people turn up like we did last year with the world update. Okay, well, we'll take that into consideration. But I think it's looking interesting. Also, it's abnormal. So if I could just quickly remind all of you, abnormal biodas, super, super helpful. So consider watching my most recent Ruskin Abnormal Biodas video for August 21, 2025. Watch the first 5 minutes, skip ahead, look at the chapters, skip ahead to the Biodas chapter, watch what happens, you'll get the general gist, you'll understand. Abnormals, they become marketable before the Rust even rotates, and using that time to our advantage, we get an early insight into seeing if a skin actually has the interest, if it has enough demand to keep its price up. Looking at the tools large box here, it had a lot of biodas, and it had prices going all the way and above its rust price. That looked like a perfectly fine thing to consider buying. That's why I bought 20 of them. So, okay, cool. I'm sure you get the idea. So, let's now hop back over to here and talk about the next two skins. Polymer L96 and Camouflage Jacket. Just about 9,000 subscribers. If we were to compare to another skin, I believe if we just go back to the same rust store, Aviator Jacket is the perfect thing that Jackhammer. It's the perfect thing we compare to. I said jacket so many times I thought I'd say it again. So, these two skins, if we could just quickly compare, we'll see that this did 17,600 subscribers. Okay, all right, that's fairly okay. I'm not going to complain about that. But I'm looking at both of these and expecting them to do between 18 to 21,000 subscribers. Just a little bit less compared to that. But I can see the potential that they could probably get an extra bit of interest on the very last day and get quite a lot of extra sales in. For this L96 Polymer Collection, there is a lot of very interesting weapon skins here. Now, if you're wondering why they're expensive, well, some of them have glow sights. Custom SMG, pump shotgun, and a bolt action rifle. Glow sights. $12, $33, $30. Now, glow sights in these probably isn't the best, but they still have it. It's a novelty people appreciate. The sap is $50+. Okay, well, okay then. $46 for an MP5. Blimey. Well then, okay. A lot of people are probably looking at that and thinking, oh yeah, surely the L96 is going to do the same. I doubt it. Sorry to say. But if I could just quickly point out all the L96 skins we've seen recently and, well, in all of existence, take a look at all of them. Down 26, down 19, down 52. That one's actually doing quite all right. Down 15, down 33, down 33, down 45, down just one. Down 60, down 19. The majority of them are down pretty bad. The majority are down close to around, oh, actually $1, to be honest with you. Yeah. So I'm sorry to say, whilst it looks nice, and of course, did you watch my rust rotation video as I showcased it? Cool, nice looking design. I wouldn't be surprised if a lot of people bought it because they actually like it. But I do think a lot of people bought these in excess with the pure intent to sell, and there's going to be too much, too many people wanting to sell. I wouldn't be surprised if that drops off. I wouldn't be surprised if it goes down to around $1. Unfortunately, that is not abnormal. So that's looking like it might be a potential problem. And now with the Camouflage Jacket, if you're telling me, okay, it's going to probably do around 20,000 subscribers, I look at the rest of the collection and I'll compare. Almost 10,000 subscribers for these and the gloves. Boots had 11,000 subscribers. These, they had 17,000 subscribers, and the kilt and the tier 2, 17 to 20,000 subscribers. If that's close to around this, it's fine. I'm sure it'll hold its value. Here's a good question though. White, black, and pink. Could this be seen as nice white camouflage? Jumping up my words there. But am I right? Could it actually work out as a nice, useful snow camouflage? I've actually tested it out. Now, from a distance, you cannot see the pink, but it is quite a distance away. But it does blend in quite nicely. Now, of course, I have to bring this up. Snow camo, pretty expensive. Let's look up all the other white jackets we have in the game. Now, there is, of course, a Twitch drop, which you can see just over to here, that being Libano. I don't know how to pronounce that. Libano's jacket. No Mercy jacket is now over $50. Listed, just to confirm. All right, listed means that's, you know, just because it's listed at that price doesn't mean it's selling for that price. But then again, $45 buy order. Okay, yeah. All right, fair enough. It's probably that price. So yeah, all nice and white. Expensive. However, the snow camo jacket, which is one of the skins that we get for free, you know how every few months we get like a random shirt skin or like a random beanie hat skin and whatnot, you get the idea. That's one of them. That's one of the skins you can get for absolutely free. However, that's now pushing up to about $3 at the moment. Look and see how much progress it's had over the past couple of years. Look at that. Something you get for absolutely free, something that was, it cost pennies before, but because people are looking around trying to get some nice, good, useful looking snow camouflage, even this is considered to be pretty good. And to be honest, it is good. It is good. So that's probably the best thing we can compare to. And technically speaking, our brand new camouflage jacket is cheaper than it. I should make a short video showcasing this, and you can tell me if you think it's pretty good for snow camo. But from a distance, it does do a good job. You don't see the pink. Let's see if it takes off. Also, consider this. In the sneak peek for the naval update, at the very end of the video, we got like a picture. We got a view of a farm, and we heard a cow go moo, strongly indicating that within this year, most likely the naval update, we're getting cows introduced into Rust. Are people going to want to dress up as cows? For what reason? They're strange. We'll see. But that is looking pretty appealing. Bloody Pants. An incredibly fun surprise. Whilst this is a newer version, technically speaking, it waited 10 years on the workshop to finally be accepted. So yes, this was like a surprise. It was actually changed on the day of the Rust rotation. It needed to be updated because the old version was not really up to the standard of the quality we see of Rust skins as of today. But, you know, Milho Frito, he was quick and got updated ever so nicely and whatnot. So, this is currently in the Rust store in 2025, but 10 years ago, we had the hoodie and the boots. How much of these were bought? I can't answer that. Really old skins, unfortunately, do not have subscriber counts. Some sort of issue. But have you seen the reaction to these? Oh my. Now, let me just also remind all of you, I had no idea we were going to have a complete the sets Rust store. No idea. But of course, with the 10-year anniversary of the Rust workshop, 10-year anniversary of the first proper Rust store with skins from the workshop, makes sense. Perfectly fine. Not going to complain. I have asked the skin creator, are you going to consider doing tier 2 or tier 3? I think he'll consider it. He's a little bit unsure though. He's like, well, I mean, I don't know. He feels really lucky to have got the, the pants all of a sudden. But I don't think he understands that people would really, really like to see more of this. I don't think Face Punch would be upset. There's your green camouflage for the year. Just covered in red. Yes, lots of blood. But $10 at the moment. And the boots, well, how much are the boots? They're more expensive. No, they've gone above. Oh no, I should have bought some. I put down a strong bargain on the hoodie at the very least, but yeah, with the arrival of the pants, they have gone up in price. Very, very nice. But will it last? I don't think so. But I can imagine both of these being in a higher price compared to where they were like a week ago, from here and now. But the pants. I do believe we got more of the pants compared to these in terms of how many of them in circulation. But if we do see tier 2, if we do see tier 3, that can still work out very nicely. Now, let's go back over to here and consider how much of it might we see by the end of the week. Or it's 7-day tenure in the Rust store. Well, I did a quick comparison and I thought, you know what? Let's go to the previous week we could compare to both the Temple Satchel and the Black Ops Python. So if I go back over to here, do a quick comparison, well, that did 16,000 subscribers, and that did just over 15,000 subscribers. So I made a consideration, and I thought, you know what, between 14 to 16,000 subscribers is where I reckon these pants will end up at. In terms of like usual sales, average sales we see every week for a skin, that isn't that high. But in comparison to the hoodie and the pants, I think there can be some potential problems there. I do think the skin creator is going to make an attempt for tier 2 and tier 3. But do not instantly assume it's definitely going to happen. Do not instantly assume it's definitely going to get a collection continuation. But if we do, yeah, I wouldn't be surprised if those pants spike in price ever so nice. Maybe not as high as how high the hoodie and the boots went, but still good, still very nice. So we'll see what happens next. It's abnormal. We can do abnormal barters first, and then make considerations after Wednesday. You get the idea. So with the next batch of skins, I'm actually going to do a big batch of them all together. Pump shotgun, wooden double door, locker, and stone pickaxe. All 4 of them sold around 6,000 subscribers. I'm going to do all 4 at once. So what could we compare to? Well, I actually compared to the deep sea locker and the gold chains tools. So gold chains tools just over 6,000 subscribers, and the deep sea locker literally just under 6,000 subscribers. Okay, well, let's go over to there, do a quick comparison. So what was it, 2 weeks ago? Here we go. These reached just over 12,000 subscribers, and the locker, that reached just over 13,000 subscribers. So I thought, you know what, a perfectly fine suggestion for the pump shotgun, the locker, the wooden double door, and the stone pickaxe, 12 to 14,000 subscribers. So, is that okay? Second wooden double door skin to be accepted this year, as you can see. Marketable one, just to clarify. We had the charity skin, transparency, glow in the dark, very cool. $5 though. But you cannot get them anymore. Not tradable, not marketable. Okay. Legacy wooden double door from the previous week. It had transparency, looked pretty sweet. Well, it's retaining its value at the moment. And if we don't see that many wooden double doors after all of this, I wouldn't be surprised if both of them actually might work out well. These 2 marketable ones. Unfortunately, I just can't help to assume we're definitely going to see more of them this upcoming weekend. And I wouldn't be surprised if Face Punch might even consider some of the ones that are submitted just this past weekend. And the week before that. And the week before that. So let's just give you some context. This past weekend from, let's see, here, scroll, to here, 21 brand new designs for wooden double doors. And well, this upcoming weekend, wouldn't be surprised if we see a whole lot more. It is the item being focused this month because we don't get that many wooden double door skins. Alright, fair enough. But I am expecting another skin to be accepted next Restore, and it wouldn't surprise me if we see another one, for September 4 swipe. Please be, aware. For the past, month or so, well, during July 2025, we saw 4 Icepick skins being accepted in a row, and I fully expect it to happen to wooden double doors. And, oh, look at that. We've got another Icepick skin being accepted very recently. 5 in a year, after getting 0 for about 7 years. Well, will that same behaviour happen to this? And could it end up having problems like the salvaged Icepick skins we see here? They're not exactly holding up super great. So, to be honest with you, there's still a lot less wooden double doors right here. I think it should be okay, but do be warned, not abnormal. You don't have the time to advantage. It is part of a collection, Hedge, but still, I think it might be a nice slow gain. I would probably still stick with a barter. Okay, fair enough. Greening area locker, we are now seeing a record-breaking amount of lockers this year, and we still have a few more months left of this year, and we still have Halloween and Christmas. I will not be surprised in the slightest if we see another, locker skin. Oh, it's becoming a problem. Something that used to be a rare sight to see is now pretty common. And now, if I could just show you the greening area collection. Oh, wow, that's actually doing very nicely, isn't it? Yep. I don't know what else comes out after this, but the skin creator, I would be surprised if they feel reinvigorated with the surprise complete the sets Restore and seeing their locker skin finally being accepted. I would be surprised if they are reinvigorated and want to make more skins. But I can't help but assume it's still going to go below its Restore price. I'm going to definitely do a barter on that. Redemption Pump Shotgun. If you're going to end up doing between 12 to 14,000 subscribers, I don't think you're going to be having a similar behavior like these skins from the previous year. These all sold just below 10,000 subscribers. Look at them now. And what if I told you they were even higher in price just a few weeks back, around what, June time? Yep. Recently, Cock Pump Shotgun came out. Didn't exactly do amazing, but you know what? Didn't exactly crash and burn. It's down slightly. Not too bad. At the very least with this, I'd assume the same when we go through the bad times, because we still had to go through September, October, November. Smart Barda probably might be the way. Yep. But it has sold quite a fair bit more compared to the rest of these. But do we have any other red shotguns? Not really. Maybe that one, but still, point made. So, looking at that, it might be interesting. That's also not abnormal, so that might be a bit of a concern. We'll talk more about that on Wednesday night. Volcanic Stone Pickaxe. I am worried. So yeah, it says it's all by itself there. That's a bit of a mistake. This is actually paired up with the Volcanic Stone Hatchet. Now, as time has gone on, because this was accepted back in what, like 2017, 2018, take a look at this and you will see for yourself that this has gone up in price very nicely. But a lot of people might be fooled. They'll think, oh, well, if this is selling for $10 at the moment, surely the Stone Pickaxe will do the same. And then let me also remind you, we have a subscriber count here, only 799 subscribers. The Stone Pickaxe right now already has over 8,000. I think there's going to be a lot more of these in comparison to the other skin. And Stone Tools, how do they hold up? Well, that's down by, well, that's actually doing good. Up 45, up 34, down 9, up 9, up 9, up 1, up 18. Evens, up 6, up 5, up 11. To be honest with you, the majority of them are slightly in the positive. Yeah, these are doing better, but I think this is a more realistic expectation. Okay. All right then, fair enough. But still, a lot more of these in comparison to these. Could that lead to problems? By default, I'd say yes. By default, I'd say, well, if everybody wants to go buy a Stone Pickaxe, whilst it might cause this to rise up, cause this to spike in price very nicely, with, only so many of them available, you very likely might end up with a lot of excess stock on the Steam market for the Stone Pickaxe, and that could easily cause it to go down in price. That's why I'm concerned. So maybe I'll just leave it at that. That is abnormal. We'll do abnormal Bardas first. And just to remind all of you, you might have seen it in my rust rotation video, but this glows in the dark. And I know a lot of people don't actually like that, so a bit concerning. We'll leave it at that then. Let's now go back and discuss what we expect with the rest of the skins here. So, with the Sheet Metal Double Door, we have right there, yep, the Oasis Sheet Metal Double Door, 5,451 subscribers. What did I compare it to? Well, I actually went quite far back, and I reminded myself of the Funerary Backpack. So that's what, July 10? Well, away we go. So if I could just go all the way over to here, it's this one. Funerary Backpack, you did 11,400 subscribers. Okay, well, Sheet Metal Double Door, selling quite closely to what this did. I think the Sheet Metal Double Door is going to only do between 10 to 12,000 subscribers. Now, I've actually put up a short video of this today. Do you like the design? Are you a fan? Because unfortunately, the rest of the skins here, they're not in demand. So I could show that off to you right now. Oasis collection. How much have you in the positive? Oh, large box actually improved. Very nice to see. That's down by 77%. That's down by 41%. Oh dear. Yeah. You know what? Let's just forget about that. Independently, Sheet Metal Double Doors have been very reliable investments. Now, the skins that came out so far this year, considering we've had so many Twitch drops, I'm not surprised to see they're down a fair bit. But that's it. They're only down by about 15, 20%. Last year, the exact same thing happened. When we went through the worst of it, those skins, they were down, at worst, negative 20%. But then, as time went on, as we went through post-Christmas 2025 and the summer of 2025, all of these went up in price very nicely. They might point out, what about these two? They are holiday-themed skins, Halloween-themed skins. They're out of season. It's not a surprise to see that they are that way. Christmas is already starting to pick up though. Ooh. But yeah, Christmas skins are a whole lot more reliable as investments. Point made is that right there. Okay, thank you very much, SMM. This right here, it is a non-holiday theme skin, and whilst the other skins in its collection aren't in demand, aren't holding their value, that right there very likely will. I will still stick with a buy order. It's sitting there at $2. I think a very cool $1.50 barter can still work out very, very nicely. But with only 10 to 12,000 subscribers, that is quite a surprise. Okay, fair enough. Well, if it doesn't go down too bad as we go through October, all right, yeah, I could definitely see some nice potential investments and potential profits. Okay, cool. Shall we move on? So now we have the Playmaker SAR. I looked at this. I made considerations. Oh, and basically, I thought to myself, what would I do? What would I compare to? This has just about 4,500 subscribers. I looked around, I made considerations, and I said, you know what? Bone Locker. Bone Locker would be a great thing to compare to. It is right over here. So, okay then, let's go do a nice comparison. Bone Locker came out, what, a good few months back? Couple months almost? We'll find out right now. And there we go. Bone Locker had just under 11,000 subscribers, if I can recall. If I click this, go to its workshop page. Where might that be? Workshop. Where is the button for the workshop page? This is a problem. Oh, there you go, it's right there. Now I want the actual workshop page. I don't know why it's telling me this. Okay, subscribers, that is legit. Okay, so when it said minimum sales, okay, whatever. So, with that subscriber count, I think the Playmaker SAR most likely will do between 9 to 11,000 subscribers based on its current sales. Okay then, well, will this interesting, mostly white design be appreciated? Could it work out quite nicely? Where's the button for workshop? I don't see it. It's annoying me. Maybe we'll go over to here. Skinlytics. There we go. Right, so let's just update ourselves with the SAR right here. Part of the Playmaker collection. A nice off-white design. Not totally white, but people still appreciate. With its knockoff Nintendo design. I think people will like it. I just don't know if it's still going to retain its price. So go over to here. See this for yourself. Looks cool, and I've showed it off very nicely in my rust rotation video. But still, even then, I just can't help but assume it's going to end up like most SARs, down pretty bad. Now, maybe it will do a little bit better. I'd like to see it. But no pay-to-win aims or anything. Goofy design. I think people might be a little bit worried that people see them in the distance holding it. Not to knock off the skin, I'm just saying it's a bit bright, colourful, so okay, fair enough. I don't really expect that much, but I do know it's abnormal, so we'll do the abnormal borders first, look at it, and then make considerations afterwards, right? So we'll leave it at that. Alright, so with the remaining skins, that being, well, this batch here, because I'll do that in a separate batch in a second, Scrapper Tier 3, Space Raiders Boots and Gloves, and the prototype Icepick, I paired them all up together, and I thought, yeah, very, very similar sales, around 4,000 subscribers. What could I compare to? Well, if we just go back a few weeks, we'll look at the porcelain boots right there. They also had just over 4,000 subscribers. I thought that was the best thing to compare to. So away I go. Just a few weeks back, and what do I see? Those porcelain boots had, well, only around 9,500 subscribers. So by default, with all these skins that we have over here in the current Rust store, whoops, I didn't mean to click that. What do I see? Yes, they're progressing quite nicely. 6,000 subscribers here, 5,500 here, but I think these are going to do between 8,000 to 10,000 subscribers. So if they're only going to do that much, how do they compare to their other skins? Scrapper Tier 3. If I could just quickly go to the workshop, look at your previous skins. Unfortunately, we don't have a workshop link. That's not helpful. I was having issues, so I just thought, why not just search for them on the Steam market? So with the arrival of the Scrapper Tier 3, we did see the pre-existing skins, such as the kilt right here. It's spiked demand, spiked to price, ever so nice. Sitting there at $8.48 with a bar to go all the way above $4. Okay, yeah, that's looking pretty good. That's looking pretty cool. But what happens next? Is Tier 3 going to slot in perfectly? Hoodie, 4,500 subscribers. Road sign vest, 2,500 subscribers. Kilt, 2,300 subscribers. Oh dear. Turns out we are probably going to have issues with the Tier 3 armor because it's already surpassed the amount of sales and subscribers that the pre-existing skins have had. Now, there is one small possibility. We could potentially see boots and gloves. But is Johnny old boy going to want to do that? Recently, he's been nowhere near the likes of the Scrapper collection. Tiger collection, Twisted Metal. He's a bit sporadic and he hasn't exactly been super active very recently. Because that was like 2 months ago. So I'm not sure what to expect next, but unfortunately, because this has already surpassed the tier 2 and the hoodie and pants, I think both of these pieces are actually in a bit of a struggle. They very likely will be going below the rest of the price and will probably be stuck there. Sorry to say. So, okay, fair enough. Space Raider. So please consider this. It really does look like this is going to end up being the lowest selling skins amongst all of these. So I said 8 to 10,000 subscribers, 5,500 at the moment over here. Hoodie and Pants, 26,000 subscribers. Tier 2, 17 to 19,000 subscribers. Tier 3, 17,000 subscribers. So as long as this collection remains fairly in demand, and if I could just show you the reaction it's had. Space Raiders, that went up in price very nicely, but it wasn't exactly doing super great beforehand. You could look at that spike in demand, spike in price right there. Yep, but look at its lifetime history. Yeah, I'm trying to sell 2 there. As you can see, $3 plus. Others up to $2 almost. Go over to here, hoodie, as you'll see, over $2 at the moment. Others pushing up to $2, but that's it. Before we had the the brand new skin, the hoodie was selling for about 60 to 70 cents. Look at its lifetime history, hasn't been doing much. Look at the tier 3. Before we had the acceptance, same thing, selling for about 70 to 80 cents. I'm not sure if this is actually in demand, but with the arrival of the boots and gloves, are people now a whole lot more aware of it? Will people now appreciate it more? I don't know. We'll see what becomes of this. But if it does retain interest, if it does retain a level of people want to actually use it and whatnot, okay, I think those boots and gloves would be retaining their price quite nicely and becoming quite profitable. If they are selling for the very standard price of 99 cents each, I think they're both in a very, very good spot. Now, they are both not abnormal, but even then, I think this might be a dark horse investment for the week. I know by default, in the past, I've said, well, complete the sets for our stores. Do not be surprised if you see all of them go down into the negativity, into the red at some point over the course of the next few weeks. It feels like an inevitability. But these right here, lack of sales, collection seems to be reasonably in demand at the moment, ends up being the lowest selling skins in the set, looks to be in a pretty interesting spot. So, for your consideration, you can think about it. But yeah, I might grab a few of those, and by that, maybe like 30 each. But I'll save that till Wednesday. I want to see what the sales look like by then. And then, of course, prototype Icepick. I said it a little bit earlier, but yeah, we recently had a whole bunch of Icepick skins suddenly being accepted. There was a push for it to see more skins being made and accepted in July 2025. We've got 4 skins right there. But with consecutive acceptances over the course of a month, these have ended up starting to struggle. Now, prototype Icepick, I don't think people are even aware it's a collection continuation. It is. It's a collection continuation to a salvage sword. I don't think people care enough about that, because right now that's selling for $1 on the Steam market. Let's go take a look at that. Prototype. And you'll see for yourself, even with the brand new skin being accepted, oh, it went up by 2 pennies. Now it's $1.03. Yeah, I don't think we're going to have that much interest with the Icepick either. Sorry to say. Yes, the sales are okay at the moment, but I don't see much going on afterwards. I wouldn't be surprised if it ends up like the other salvaged Icepicks, which are currently in the negative. 7 years, not a single skin. All of these go up in price ever so nice. And with one brand new one, everybody just assumes it's going to go up in price like that. No. Especially when another one appears. So, yeah, I think you're just better off with a lower price buy order. And so with that, we could talk about the final things. So go back over to here. We have the opulent road sign gloves and boots, skull colour boots, and Playmaker boots. So, if I were to compare with, something else, I actually went, I went quite a fair bit back. How far back did I go? Here we go. Stumpbox. Just over 3,000 subscribers. Comparing it with the skins over to here, same thing. Just over 3,000 subscribers. Except you're a bit low, Playmaker boots. You're really down low. I don't have anything else I can compare to, so it'll be close enough with these. All right then. So let's go back over to here. Right now, over 3,000 subscribers, over 4,000, and Opulent Boots and Gloves, yeah, both over 4,000. If we go back quite some time, where's that stump box? There we are. 6,800 subscribers. A rough estimate, generalised, I'm going to say, for the Opulent Roadside Gloves and Boots, Skull Killer Boots, and the Playmaker Boots, 6,000 to 8,000 subscribers. That is what I'm going to suggest. So, is that a good thing? Let's go look at the Opulent collection. Is it going to be like Scrapper, or is it going to be like Space Raider? Hoodie and Pants, 5,000 subscribers. Tier 2, 11,000 subscribers. Well, more specifically the kilt. The other two pieces have 8,000 and 7,500 subscribers. But the Tier 3, 14,000 subscribers. It looks like these two pieces are going to be the second lowest pieces compared to all the core pieces here. Hoodie, Pants, Tier 2, Tier 3. If the collection is reasonably in demand, and at the moment it looks to be the case, I think that, you know, the two pieces here will be appreciated and will stay in the positive. And both of these are abnormal. So let's just go over to here. Opulent collection, are we searching? Yes, we are. As you'll see, hoodie, kilt, coffee can, face mask. They've had a very nice spike on spike and price. Get a good look at the $4 listing, $3 buy orders. Nice little spike there. But it has been trending down for a very long time. Only now has there been a spark, a bit of interest. Over to here, get a good look at that. $6, wow. But then again, $3 buy order. Same thing basically. Slow trend downwards. Here's the coffee can. This has, well, hardly any listings, hardly any purchases as well, but only $2. I feel like this might just be a small blip of interest and it'll probably go back down again. I'm sorry to say. So yes, the prices might look pretty cool at the moment. The potential profits look very cool. But unfortunately, I don't think it's going to be as successful potentially like the Space Raiders. Space Raiders do look like it's actually going to retain some interest. This right here, not as much. Sorry to say. But a nice sneaky buy order can always lead to some success, you know? And both of these skins are abnormal. So Wednesday night, we'll consider prices, raise to put buy orders down. Hopefully we could be the ones to pick them up for cheaper. Consider watching my rust rotation video. I wear all of the Opulent set and I look like nice, bright gold. Not sure if everybody wants that. Skull Killer Boots. Skull Killer Collection. So with the arrival of the boots, we have seen a bit of a spike in demand. Not too much though. This collection has done okay ever since it came out. With the boots, jumped a little bit higher. But overall, we don't have that many blue collections, blue clothing and armour. And so, it's retained its value quite nicely. It hasn't been insanely profitable. However, with the current sales, if this is only going to get probably between 6,000 to 8,000 subscribers, less than that, 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 less than that. It very likely could be like some of the boots we've seen as of recent. I'm talking about Black Diamond boots, Chameleon boots, Pirate boots. These skins right here, when they were accepted, they ended up having the lowest sales out of all the clothing and armor pieces. Look at them now, comfortably in the positive, comfortably in the positive, comfortably in the positive. It might not be immediate, but it very likely could turn out and be quite successful and be a lovely little bit of profit. That might take time. But, as I said, we should go to, take a look and see the sales. Skull Killer. Hoodie, kilt, face mask. Let's go back there you go, this kilt. And it's alright, it's still profitable. But sales, 22 in the last 24 hours. Over here, 23 sales in the last 24 hours. And over here, 27. That's not that high, but that's still got some interest. Maybe a consideration to grab some boots, but not too many of them. Might be the play, So, yeah. A lack of blue collections could be helpful for it, but don't expect it's going to be super easy to sell all of them and whatnot. So yeah, that's another thing you have to consider, how many people are actively buying the skins. And then we have Playmaker boots, the lowest selling skin, only 3,000 subscribers at the moment. At best, I could only see this reaching up to 6,000 subscribers. and comparing it to the rest of its collection. Bit of a funny one. We had tier 3, and then what, like a month later, then hoodie and pants, and then a few months later, then we got just the kilt. So tier 3, 4,300, 4,500 subscribers, hoodie and pants, 14 to 15,000 subscribers, and the kilt, 13,000 subscribers. Yeah, these boots are going to be the second lowest selling, much like how we just discussed with the option. Is Playmaker in demand? As time has gone on, these have actually stayed in the positive and worked out quite nicely. Hoodie and pants have only just about climbed back up again, though. It really did need those boots, and I guess the SAR. I'm in the position of, I think the boots actually is another instance where it's like, sold hardly anything. The collection seems to be reasonably in demand, interesting. I think that's another considerably interesting thing to go ahead and possibly buy. But again, wait till Wednesday, look at the sales, then make that decision. But still, it's looking interesting. So yeah, it was quite a bit of a yapping session today, but a lot of skins were there to be discussed. Lots of skins. People can't spend that much because it can only go around so much. It works out quite nicely for these clothing and armor pieces, but for the rest, not so much. By all means, once again, I'll ask you, what was your most favourite skin that you saw being accepted with this batch? What's your most favourite collection? And now, let's talk about another thing. You might have seen me tweet this out. Have you seen the video? We recently had the 10-year anniversary. That's why we had to complete the sets. And if I could just quickly navigate over to YouTube. Wait, no. There. This video right here. Yes. So, I would recommend you give it a good watch, because there's a very, very interesting surprise in this video. I'm asking for your help. Please consider giving it a watch. You could skip ahead about 25 minutes in if you want and see that wonderful surprise. But what we do is we showcase all the skins from that very first Rust store, which had workshop skins added. And yeah, pretty cool, pretty interesting for your consideration. So SMM, I do believe it'll be getting an update soon. Skinlytics is still being updated. As you can see, Rust Help is still being updated. You need to consider offering some feedback in regards to these websites. I know the admins are asking for feedback, so your consideration, feel free to offer it, I guess. How's the Steam market? Quick refresh. That'd be manipulated. It's just a random buyout. In regards to skins like this, if you see them on the front page with next to no listings, and it seems like the price is quite high compared to where it was before, yeah, that's just a buyout. Could be the beginnings of a manipulation, but it isn't really a manipulation yet. You need to see like the high buy orders. Like, let me show you this. I've noticed this quite recently. I've noticed the El Diablo AK-47. It's got buy orders like this at the moment. Yep. So it was climbing up. But if I could just quickly see here, yeah, I was seeing someone putting down like a $1.50 buy order, but requesting like 20 of them. I've been noticing that. There's another Pickaxe. Is it Pickaxe? Yes. So if I go to carbon fiber, is it with an ER at the end? Or RE? No, there we go. Is this the one? No, damn, it's not there at the moment. Oh no, there it is, yes. That's not normal. So if I change that to dollars, before, nobody really cared about this skin, right? But now we suddenly see a buy order of 15. This is going to slowly keep going up and up and up if they commit to this. So today, it's at $1.50. A few days' time, maybe it'd be $2, then $3. Then suddenly it's selling for $5. And then suddenly it looks like it's selling for $10. So yeah, keep an eye on these manipulations. It might be a slow process, but, you know, things can easily end up like the Wasteland Hatchet. Where is that Wasteland Hatchet? Still apparently there at $30, 30 plus. That's all a manipulation. All these bars you see here, that's fake. That's fake. It's the people involved with the manipulation as well. Now, by default, I'd assume they would have tricked a third-party site by now. But no, they're listing them like that. For what reason? I don't know. I'm clueless. Why would you make it so obvious? I have no idea. Bit odd, but yeah, sure, whatever. Keep an eye on the commits, because of course we're looking forward to the September Force Wipe. Just don't expect that much. It's looking like it's just going to be the Decor Light Pack DLC. And then the player count, it's all right, not complaining. would have expected more back in like April. I was really hopeful the summer's going to be super great. If I knew it was going to be like this last year, I'd have been like, oh yeah, that'd be amazing. But to be honest with you, prices in general, whilst they have gone up, I was expecting better. I was expecting better. But here's hoping post-Christmas really kicks off ever so nicely, considering we have a very big update still yet to appear within the next few months. And as I mentioned, last year in October, we had a lot of people turn up for that. They stuck around. At the end of the year, lots of people were playing. At the very beginning of this year, lots of people were playing. And prices were absolutely amazing. Let's cross our fingers and hope that happens once again. September might be dipping a bit, but it did happen last year. Here's hoping the update comes out in October. If it comes out in November, that's still all right. That'll still be all right. But yeah, closer to us, the better. Right then, so I do believe that is everything. How is the workshop? If we go over to here, I've noticed some skins being submitted. Get a good look at that. Some interesting collection continuations as well. But let's leave it a few days and then we'll look at it. And then, of course, we showcase them all to you with my Rust Workshop skin checks. All right, I think that is everything. So yeah, once again, consider watching that video. I think you'll appreciate it. Again, more specifically, what am I asking help for? You better go ahead and find out. All right then, so that's it. Big Rust store. Lots of sales spread out. 10 sales across the board then. Will anything here turn out to be super profitable? Will any skin creator feel reinvigorated to return to their set and make more skins for them? Camouflage, Legacy Kevlar, Polymer, bloody, could we get bloody tier 2 or tier 3? I'm just saying. More redemption weapons or deplorables? Could we get more military doors? More military deplorables in general? Greening area, could we get more out of that? What would you like to see? Feel free to comment below. That's a wrap. So thank you very much. All estimates for the sales are in the description. So scroll down, you'll see it all there with the chapters. And that's it. That's a wrap. Thank you very much for watching me. I greatly appreciate it. Catch you later. See you. Goodbye.